To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Hogan, will you take roll, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Elliott,
Here.
Councilmember LeKind,
Here.
Councilmember LeKind,
Here.
Councilmember Ramos,
Here.
Councilmember Romanello,
Here.
Councilmember Shaney,
Here.
Councilmember Stevens.
Here.
Okay, we have the consent agenda. I believe we have a motion to change the consent agenda.
Yes, it's my understanding that we're going to remove resolution number 81-2022. The developer has withdrawn, so I move that we remove 4A from the agenda.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Ms. Hogan, will you take roll, please?
Councilmember Ramos,
Yes.
Councilmember Shaney,
Yes.
Councilmember LeKind,
Yes.
Councilmember LeKind,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Elliott,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Elliott,
Yes.
Councilmember Stevens,
Yes.
Councilmember Stevens,
Yes.
Councilmember Romanello.
Yes.
Okay, next on the agenda, I will entertain a motion to move into executive session for the following purposes: to hold a conference with the town's attorney to receive legal advice on specific legal questions pursuant to CRS 24-6-4024B concerning the Fair Campaign Practice Act. Do I have a motion?
Yes, I move that we go into executive session.
We have a second?
Second.
Ms. Hogan?
Councilmember Romanello, Councilmember Romanello,
Yes.
Councilmember Shaney,
Yes.
Yes.
Councilmember Shaney,
Yes.
Councilmember LeKind, Councilmember LeKind,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Elliott,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Elliott, Councilmember Stevens,
Yes.
Mitch.
Councilmember Ramos.
Yes.
So we are going to adjourn up to the police meeting room for the executive session. And all of you may stay here.
change, yeah, because it happens.
But it one is that. Thank you.
Yes.
Right. Good. Yeah. Don't get too fast. Yes, I understand. Yeah. Sure. That's exhausting. Yeah. This is Joel. Okay. Yeah. Not as much as to.
Just not that she will be. I can probably. Yeah, but then what was it? Just a minute. Took a little while longer. That's the nice. Yeah. Probably not that well. Did you get 12 or 12? The gloves and. I've got. I don't, but I have. This is not. I've never done it years. Do you know this? Just that. Yeah. And just, was everything about the. One number. I mean.
Maybe secrets.
I have to.
Don't tell me.
Should be 70. So hard because it's for the world. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's. Yeah, exactly. I can't do. It's okay. Okay, That's not. Well, that's Joe.
What children? Expensive. I'm here and what's on your. Here you sign. Houston, Virginia. That's right.
What do you think?
That's right.
She's like, just trying to drink it. You know, like, yeah, one at a time. Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay.
Isn't that? You think that was not work?
Yes.
Thank you,
Just
Susan.
just go out and hear some. So true. So he's making sure that it comes out. This is.
Yeah, right. Thank
Myself, she does what $100 or something. Yeah.
I'm sure. Sure, it's on the upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so that's. So.
Come on, drawing a little bit. It's your fault. She kicked me out.
But then, like, these are like, comes.
The time is now 7:36 PM and the executive session has been concluded. The participants in the executive session were interim town attorney Catherine Sellers, town manager Mike Foreman, town council members Ron Stevens, town council member James Romanello, town council member Mitch LeKind, town council member Redmond Ramos, and town council member Darcy Shaning. For the record, if any person who participated in the executive session believes that any substantial discussion of any matters not included in the motion to enter into the executive session occurred during the executive session, or that any improper action occurred during the executive session in violation of the open meetings law, I would like to ask that you state your concern for the record. Hearing none, the next item on the agenda is a presentation, Baptist Road and Terrazzo Drive intersection, Colorado Department of Transportation.
No, she's dead, but I do have a backup plan. Drew. First of all, thanks for having me. I did present this a little bit earlier in the time. That's kind of a concept, and so we've progressed the design and our analysis quite a bit further. And so I did commit to coming back and presenting the final design. And so that's what I have for you guys today. And there's some other topics I'm going to cover. So we kind of heard some concerns about truck turning radiuses. So we have some displays on there. So in the packet, it looks a little bit messy, but I'll explain what's going on there. So hopefully I'll clear it up for everybody. And I also brought some of our analysis, kind of showed, you know, why we moved to this roundabout concept versus the signalized intersection. And kind of looking at future traffic and future development, it kind of explains everything. So Okay, so what Drew, this is kind of our title sheet to our project. And so in this project, we've reached what we call 30% design. And so we've progressed quite a bit, and this is a little bit older. Our plans are to advertise this project for construction in early March. And then, so we should be into construction at the May, June timeframe. Next slide. So here's kind of the cross section we have. And so there is some opportunities for input here. CDOT typically does pretty bare bones design, so you can kind of see, and you compare to the roundabout to the west here on Baptist. You got the town does have quite a bit of landscaping in the center. For us, we're going to keep it clear unless there's some kind of desire. We could work out the details of that later. But pretty much it's going to be kind of a pattern concrete. It'll look nice, but there's going to be no vegetation in there. And here we're showing kind of on the detached sidewalks, you can kind of see that we're showing topsoil. We're going to hardscape that because what we found in the reality is we have a tremendous amount of utilities. We're going to have to relocate, so we're going to have to tear that all up. So we'll just put it back in concrete encasement. So there's kind of the cross section. Next slide. Thanks. So here's kind of the messy slide. But if you kind of look, and it is color coded, the people online probably have a much better view. But what this is showing large semi trucks actually taking left turns for every direction of the roundabout. So you can kind of see there is a truck apron, and this is how CDOT has been building roundabouts. The trucks are meant to drive on it with their back tires, and you can kind of see some of the circles that way, but it's a little messier. So the next slide kind of clears it up where we did a little bit clearer here. So we did right turns, and we checked everything for radius and geometry, and it looks good. Next slide. And then, you know, the basic movement of moving through. So these are all the largest vehicles that this intersection will see. There's no combo axle vehicles. Next slide. So here's kind of the analysis, and this is a really good sheet. So what we kind of looked at was existing conditions currently, and so this analysis is a couple months old. And so we do what we call level of service, and that's a grading system that transportation engineering uses. So you kind of get a grade based on delay. A is good, B is okay, C is acceptable, D in most cases is livable, and then it kind of goes down from there, you know, D, E, F. So the grades are based on the amount of delay vehicle experience. So if you kind of look at this graph, you can see current conditions. Currently, some of our movements now are FE, so it's that northbound left. So we are experiencing some failures at the intersection with just the current development going on. We project that out to 2040 with no action, it gets really bad. And then if we signalize the intersection, it actually becomes much worse and delay for quite a bit of few of our movements. So what we looked at was the roundabout comparatively. So we looked at that, and we're getting some. Oh, that's the next slide. Sorry. Well, I can kind of go. Yeah. So here's our roundabout analysis. So we looked at year 2040 in traffic. So what we're coming up with a B and a C with that's full build out. So we had to do some assumptions on some of the development. We know what's coming south, and we have a good idea what's coming north. But we did infill some of the vacant lots to the west there. And we did add some projected housing further to the west where there's already currently some tract home development. So we added in. So it looks to operate really well for the next years to come. If you kind of go back, we had an idea if we could fix the I-20 off ramps and on ramps. It didn't help us very much. I think we're going to have to still address some of the I-25 ramps down the future. But I mean, this is good evidence that the roundabouts will function well into the future. Drew, can you go to the next slide? Thanks, sir. So here's kind of some of our summary stuff, and this is more diagrammatic versus the tables, so it can kind of show you what's going on. And so this is existing conditions. We do have troubles with our southbound off-ramp intersection. It's just a heavily used one, but you can kind of see the intersection on Terrazzo. You know, the left turns, if you're heading southbound, are difficult now because you have competing traffic taking that kind of westbound left turn into the Pilot store. Getting a right out is not too bad, but if you want to go southbound across, southbound left, you're going to have some delays in the AM and PM peak hours. You can go to the next slide. Thanks. And so if we do nothing at the intersection, and this is kind of our environmental process, we always look at the do nothing alternatives. You can kind of see Terrazzo gets pretty bad with delay in vehicles, and that's quite a bit of volume, especially kind of going northbound out and along with southbound out. So we looked again, next slide. Yeah, sorry. So we did our signal 2040 analysis. You can see that left turn into the Pilot store is 720 vehicles and 528 for the AM PM. Typically, a left turn signalized left turn move will hold 300 vehicles. So if we did double Fs, we could do 600 vehicles. So we're over capacity in this configuration. We don't have enough room between the interstate off ramps to really get good storage. So you can kind of see that's why we're getting these bad level of service. But what you see in the 2040 with signalized, it's spread across the intersection. So you kind of see failing four legs of intersection, you start to look at alternate intersection design. So next slide. So we looked at the roundabout, and it's a unique roundabout in a few ways. What's really unique about this configuration is the northbound double rights that we're going to do. This seemed to serve the highest demand and really keep the intersection free of delay. So it's a little unique, but it does work quite well. You can kind of see our level of service is A, B. So each car at the worst case is going to experience about 18 seconds of delay, which is a lot better than we were seeing at 190 seconds with the signal. So I think it's a good win-win for everybody. And I think that might be it. Let's do one more. Yep, that's it. So I just kind of want to come back, present to you guys, let you know there's some opportunity for input if needed. We'll reach out to the Public Works Director and the Town Manager and see if there's anything the town really wants to see in the roundabout. And I'm here to answer any questions or concerns you guys have or pick through the presentation.
Any questions from the board?
Yeah, I just, the first north to east right, that is into the existing lane. That's not a dedicated on-ramp lane to 25, correct?
Correct. So it's, yeah. So that you're going to have to do an additional movement. Oh, that's me echoing. I didn't know I sounded like that. Okay. Good. Still waiting for puberty. I'm sorry. It's okay. Okay. So yeah, so you're still going to have to do an additional movement to get into the on-ramp lane. We couldn't connect them because there's such a short distance between this intersection and the interstate on-ramp. You know, we'd have vehicles crossing over each other, and we call it's called a weave movement. So you weave in and out trying to get to your desired lane, and there just wasn't enough distance to develop that. I mean, that was kind of our first thought. If we could just do a dedicated kind of slip ramp to the interstate, it would work out well, but we created a lot of problems in that stream of traffic. So it works a lot better this way.
Any other questions from the board? Thank you.
All right. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have a resolution number 93-2022, a resolution to authorize the certification of the property tax mill levy to the El Paso County Assessor for the budget year 2023, beginning on the first day of January 2023 and ending on the last day of December 2023. Ms. Herjoy.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay? Staff has submitted resolution 93-2022. Can you hear me? to the Town Council for approval. Approval will authorize the certification of the property tax mill levy to the El Paso County Assessor for the fiscal year 2022, budget year 2023, beginning on the first day of January 23 and ending on the last day of January 2023. We are not proposing at this time to increase our mill levy, so we are keeping the mill levy at the levels of 2022.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions from the board? I'll take that as a no. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve resolution number 93, 2022, resolution to authorize the certification of the property mill levy to the El Paso County Assessor for the budget year 2023.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Ms. Hogan?
Councilmember Shaney,
Yes.
Councilmember Ramos.
Yes.
Yes.
Councilmember Romanello,
Councilmember Romanello.
Yes. Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem
Yeah.
Elliott,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes.
Yes.
Councilmember Stevens,
Yes.
Councilmember LaKind.
Councilmember LaKind.
Yes.
That motion passes 6-0. Next on the agenda, we have public comment for items that are not on the agenda. Individuals attending in person may raise their hand to indicate their desire to comment. Individuals attending via WebEx may raise their hand, in quotes, digitally to comment via connected devices. Please lower your hand when finished with your comments. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Do we have anyone here for public comment?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Fred Free, and I live here in Monument. I do have a question. With the developments that have just opened up off of Forest Lake Road there, one of the issues that we're noticing all of a sudden, because the road goes all the way through, I think it's called Willow Springs, goes all the way through the backside of Monument now. We've got a huge increase of traffic there. And at Willow Springs and Forest Lake Road, there is a crosswalk with no light at night, and with the additional amount of cars that are going through there, we've had several near misses recently. And because of the vegetation that's growing in between, because there's a little planter right there, you cannot see people walking in that crosswalk when they come across. So I was just wondering, who is responsible for that area? Who do we need to talk to get maybe the vegetation cut down to where there's access to see the people walking? Is it El Paso County? Is it Metro, or is it the town of Monument? So that's my question.
Mr. Furman? Thank you. Any other public comments for those attending in person? Drew, are there any hands raised online? Laura, can you please take yourself off of mute? Laura, can you hear us? You take yourself off of mute and make your public comment. Laura, we see you're still on mute. Laura, go ahead, please. You're on mute. Please take yourself off of mute. Any suggestions, Mr. Foreman?
No, they have to take themselves off mute on their side.
Laura, you're the only person that is raised their hand for public comment. If you could take yourself off of mute, please proceed.
She just put her hand down.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else remotely, Drew? Okay, thank you. So that ends the public comment. Next on the agenda, we have council authorization items. Do we have any council authorization items?
I have none.
Okay. Next on the agenda is town council comments. Any comments from the council?
I'd like to make a comment.
This is town council member LeKind.
Yes.
Yes, please proceed.
Okay. On December 2nd, and subsequently 2 days later, I received emails from 2 reporters who were in possession of confidential, privileged information that came from an investigation that was conducted over the summer related to a member of our town staff. What's concerning to me about it and why I want to bring it up is because as we hear at the beginning of every executive session and any emails that come to us from our attorney, that the information presented to us is privileged and considered attorney-client privilege. The only way that the attorney-client privilege can be waived is by a full vote by the board. No singular member of the board is allowed to disclose the confidential information that is contained in communications, whether it be in email or executive session. And yet, 2 reporters in our community seem to have gotten a complete copy of the investigation that was confidential. And to me, that is disturbing. It is disturbing that somebody on this board violated the trust, put members of our town staff in a bad light, as it has come to the public's attention after an investigation was closed, and now has brought the potential of a lawsuit against the town for reasons that I cannot fathom. It angers me to no end that somebody violated this trust, and it is my intention to determine who that person is or persons. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilmember LeKind. Any other comments from the board?
Mr. Foreman, you said you would talk to Mr. Free. Is that something that we would be able to hear the explanation about who would be able to take care of that intersection? I was having a dangerous vegetation that's blocking view.
Yes, sir. Well, as soon as we find out what the issue is out there and who's responsible, we'll make a report back to the board.
Oh, okay. The way you were speaking, I thought you already had like a quick answer you were going to tell him. Okay.
Nope.
So whatever we get from there, and if you don't mind passing to the board, that would be awesome. I
Definitely.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Any other comments from the board?
I would like to thank all of you for your service. It's been a pleasure to work with all of you. And I hope you also have a good holiday. And I would also like to thank the staff. You guys have been all awesome. And I did want to just express something. that is happening right now. I kind of went into being a trustee thinking that I could, push some of these developers out of town and try to just fight everyone. And then I started to learn that at some point I'd have to be a little bit more reasonable, a little bit more diplomatic. And I got a call that I would like to tell you guys about the massive development that's going on at I-25 and County Line. That developer decided very recently that he was going to withdraw part of the project because he knew that he could not work in the new environment come 2023. So subsequently, he offered to keep part of the development in the town. At that point, he said that he got somewhat of a hostile environment altogether, decided to withdraw the whole project, which seems like a win. It seems like a win at first, right? But he has higher rights in the county already. And he told me that that's what he's going to do, is build as dense as he possibly can out there. And that's an example of why you have to work with these people. So I hope that the rest of the next 4 years go better than I think they will. Thank you.
Any other comments from the board? I've been on the board for 2 terms and 8 months because the election day was changed from April to November. And it's been a pleasure working with everybody. I hope that the town with the new board goes in the right direction. I do have concerns. You actually just voiced a concern that I have as it relates to being able to work with developers and making sure that what happens in this town is right for the town and that the development doesn't go to the county where we have no control. I'd like to thank the town staff for what a phenomenal job they've done. You guys are great. Great crew. And I wish the new board good luck. And I hope that you all do the right thing. Thank you. Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye.